I want to talk about why I had a bad experience on Amtrak. Now, I'm handicapped. I was moving across the country. I could have easily took a 6-hour flight and a cab and been here, but I actually wanted to treat myself with seeing the country. I was being selfish because I had the money to do so and I wanted to take a extended vacation and spend shoot, it was about 2.5 days traveling across the country in a train and looking out the window at everything that went by. And I think it's called the Zephyr route from Sacramento to Chicago, and then the Capital route from Chicago to Connellville, Pennsylvania, but that route goes all the way to DC, right? And I spent a lot of money to do that. A hell of a lot more money, and I spent a lot of time because I got a cabin, so I was like first class. You know, I did that just for shits and giggles, and I met a lot of really cool people on that train, and a lot of Amish people. Because when you'd go to breakfast, lunch, or dinner, they'd just seat you with people. You weren't given your own table. Like if you were a single person going in, they'd be like, "Oh, here's a family of three. You get to sit next to this kid and get to know the entire family." So I got to meet a lot of Amish people that were traveling by train and talk to them and everything, and they were down to earth, the coolest people you'd ever meet. They're just rugged, especially the men, rugged men that are very conservative, that are, but they're very fucking nice. And it just still haunts me because everybody that is employed on a train for Amtrak's hub is Chicago. So everybody lives in Chicago. So they're all super fucking liberal. All of them think they're saviors of the people for some fucking reason. And you learn that traveling with them because you spend 2 days with them and then another day. You learn like what their belief system is and who they are and everything because you're on a train with them for fucking 2 days. And it's a pain in the ass. But the worst person was this dude that ran a fucking the snack bar. As a grown ass man getting paid to do a job that little kids volunteer for at a little league field. He just ran the snack bar. And this motherfucker thought he was the best person to ever fucking exist. And he would just fucking talk shit. Like I remember one time I'm sitting there and he was talking about Kamala Harris and he was talking about Joe Biden. I'm like, I don't even know why you're talking about this shit. You're in customer service. You should just be serving, like when I come up and say, I want this, you should be like, here you go, have a nice day. I don't know why you're talking about your politics, bro. And he was like, "Oh, that's because you must be a fucking Republican." I was like, "No, actually, I'm not. I voted for Joe Biden. I regret it because he's fucking old and retarded. And I grew up in California, and Kamala Harris, and ew." You know what it's like to be like, and then you say this, and then the people say this, and he literally goes, "Don't you fucking talk shit about her. I'm not going to stand around while you talk shit about her." Motherfucker, I grew up in California where she was a fucking DA. I grew up in Sacramento, motherfucker. I left Sacramento. Like, also, she's a public servant. She doesn't need you to defend her. She has good men called the Secret Service that defend her. She doesn't need some snack bar fucking asshole on the Amtrak train to defend her. I am not here to listen to your political beliefs. This is a customer service situation. You shut the fuck up and give me what I want. You smile and go, "Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir." And take my money. And then have the nerve after going, "I'm not going to listen to you talk to her like that. That's fucking bullshit. Hey, would you mind tipping me $5 for handing you a beer that's already in a can?" No, I'm not tipping you. You didn't pour a beer. You didn't do shit. What the fuck, man? Oh, you're not going to tip me? Okay, I see how it is then. And then the second time I ran into him, I was talking to the couple behind me who were an Amish couple. And I was like, "So you're Amish. Why are you on a train? Shouldn't you be in like a wagon or something? Like, seriously." And the man and his wife that I'm talking to, I guarantee you, because now I live in Pennsylvania, tons of Amish people here. Guess what? Side note, Amish people don't usually vote. There are Amish buggies going around with Trump 2024 fucking flags hanging off of them. The Amish people are voting this year because even they're seeing like shit's going fucking weird with all these Democrats allowing all the gay people to run around. But that's besides the point. And I'm talking to them, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, we're coming back from Mexico from a clinic." And I go, "Oh, what type of clinic? Like, what did you go there to learn how to build barns and shit?" No, I said, "Oh, I'm sorry. I just have to make a joke. Please don't be offended, but what type of clinic did you go there to learn how to build barns?" And they're like, "No, no, medical clinic." And the dude in the snack bar was like, "I was about to punch you in the face because I thought you were making fun of them for going to like, what, what?" First of all, that Amish dude does not need you to defend him in any way whatsoever. Look at that man's hands. That man works for a living. That man, if I offended him or his wife in any way, would drop me where I'm standing. That man is also more conservative than anybody on this fucking train. I don't know who you think you're defending, but nobody needs your pussy ass to defend them. And he was like, "Well, shit. Well, I don't have to sell shit to you." And I was like, "Well, then you won't have a job at the end of this stop because I'll just call Amtrak, Josh, since you're wearing a name tag, and tell them that you're a fucked up piece of shit and you refuse to sell me shit, meaning you refuse to make money for Amtrak." And he was like, "Well, just pick out what you want and buy it." His name wasn't Josh. I don't remember his fucking name. He was just some fucking like fucking liberal Chicago piece of shit that was working the fucking Zephyr route that week. But that's the problem with fucking these liberal assholes, especially from Chicago. They think that they are saviors of people, and they don't realize that the people that they're trying to save hate them. You see it all the time. Queers for fucking Palestine, feminists for Palestine, fucking just people for Palestine. You don't realize that everybody in Palestine hates your ass. Even if you're a Palestinian that lives in America, you can't go back to Palestine because you lived in America. They will kill you. They will use you as bait and kill you. Did nobody just recently see that Hamas would not go into peace talks with Israel because Israel was like, we'll go into peace talks if you give us 40 of the hostages you have. And Hamas literally said, we don't have 40 hostages anymore. What happened to all the American hostages? They were dead day one because I don't know if you stupid Americans realize this, but the rest of the world can watch our TV and Hamas can see that Americans are protesting for Hamas. Well, they think they're protesting for Palestine, but Hamas is like, yeah, they're protesting for us. They immediately killed the Americans because you can't release Americans that come home to America and go, yeah, they raped us, they stuck shit in my butt, they shot me in my knees, and they were completely horrible to me. You can't release that when you've got so many people in America protesting in your behalf. You have to kill them immediately because they can't tell their fucking story. That's how terrorism works. I learned about how terrorism works in elementary school when I learned about Che Guevara and Cuba and and the Cold War. Terrorists are the ends justify the means. That's how a terrorist lives. And I don't know if you understand what the ends justify the means mean. It means it doesn't matter what type of atrocities, how many people I have to kill, what I have to do, as long as in the end I get my way. It's literally a political way of throwing a temper tantrum like a 5-year-old because you couldn't have a candy bar. So you fall on the ground and you scream and you cry until you get the candy bar. And if you don't get the candy bar, when you get home, you pick up the phone and you call 911 and say your parents were beating you. And then the rest of the world comes in and arrests your parents. And you're like, yay. And then the rest of the world goes, hey, did you want your candy bar? Here's your candy bar. We're sorry they did that to you. Meanwhile, your parents are innocent and in jail, or in the case of communism, dead. And your parents are never coming back. But at least you got your candy bar right then and there. And then 10 years later, when you grow up and you go, hey, I want another fucking candy bar, they kill you too. Anyway, that's a really long story to say why I hate Amtrak.